since she is.
Let's go.
Audio Jungle.
Yeah. I really got the feeling today
Audio Jungle.
that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about.
Audio Jungle.
Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go.
Audio Jungle.
Let's go. Nothing's gonna stop us today.
Audio Jungle.
Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on.
Audio Jungle.
So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go.
Audio Jungle.
Let's go. Let's go.
Audio Jungle.
Let's go.
Yes, welcome to another Sunday, and it's another episode of the Power Series, brought to you by yours truly, me, Samuel Ajanyi, and support and partnership by a lot of crazy power addicts in Ghana, Nigeria, and of course, we have the blessings of our legend, our goddess, Donna Saka. Good afternoon, Donna. Hope you're enjoying your day. Thank you for being so much appreciative of the effort, of the support. I mean, it's overwhelming. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. So as we do it all the time, today is episode three. I almost said episode two, but today is episode three of the Power Series, and today I have a special guest all the way from Nigeria joining us, and we'll be talking about Power Virtual Agent. Now, when we come back, I am going to introduce him, and then we'll get the show started. So we're back. So drum roll. Wait. I should actually get a drum roll effect on my board, so I can do a drum roll before I introduce, the speaker. So before I go ahead to introduce our speaker, why don't give yourselves a round of applause for joining the feed today? And we have today Ibrahim. So you're live. We can see you now. So welcome
Hi,
to the
Samuel.
show. Thank you very much.
Hi, Samuel. It's my pleasure. A
Awesome,
pleasure.
awesome. I mean, we've been anticipating today's show for a while now. Trying to get it out there, give people a lot of the tips and tricks. We have to offer. How are you doing today?
I'm very fine. I'm very fine. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm super excited for this opportunity. I'm so grateful. It's a good work you're doing there, and I give you kudos. You're doing a great work.
Thank you,
So, like
thank
I
you.
said,
We try to create our own content for our own people and to develop our own community, I mean,
yeah,
across
it
Africa.
makes a lot of yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think that we need more of this. Over time, Africans, I think that we've been lacking in the areas of giving, sharing our own ideas to. All we do is to consume. But I think it's high time that we also turn provider. let others also get from us. So it makes just sense.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, you're right on. I mean, you're right about that. Because most times we consume content, from from our other
Uh,
colleagues and partners. But then it also just makes sense for us to create our content. So, in order not to bore our viewers with the fun, before we get started, I mean, as a tradition on the show, we want to know first of all who Ibrahim is, what got you into technology, and why the Power Platform.
my experience back to technology dates back to, in 2004, when I ventured into computer repair. As a young chap who needed to just get busy before going to university. I just ventured into computer repair, and I found it very interesting. And I was like, man, this is interesting. So I went to university, studied computer engineering. Then while we were in school, we were fortunate to have seniors who guided us on, okay, between town and down, these are the things that are happening in the town. So you need to be guided. You don't just face your studies. You also need to be hands-on on some of these technologies. So long and short, he helped us. And aside doing SharePoint, yes, SharePoint. When I did my internship, my 400 level internship, yeah.
Mm,
So for Nigerians, if you study engineering, you're doing a 5 year, So while you're in 400 level, you do internship. So it was really of great help to me. So
yeah,
it was a SharePoint company, and I gathered enough experience there. When I finished, I continued with my SharePoint job. So far, luckily for me, I started doing SharePoint since from SharePoint 27 version down to 2019, 2010, 2013 to the latest, which is SharePoint 2019. It's really been a sweet experience for me.
mm,
And like
mm,
I'm a fan of Microsoft technology. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. So again, we used to have InfoPath and SharePoint Designer.
yep,
So I
yep.
love that combo so much. But I can say I have automated over 50 processes with that platform. So
Yeah,
it's very difficult to firmly, but of course, thank God that Microsoft is giving us a substitute that's even greater.
yeah, yeah,
Although we've been wondering when they said, okay, we're duplicating info parts.
yeah,
We've been saying, okay, what's going to replace this?
yeah.
But of course, Power Platform, as the name implies, power is actually
Power.
powerful. So we're glad that, yeah. So for the cloud platform, yeah, I started playing with it 2 years ago, and I saw that you could easily create something, within before you could say Jack, you're able to create your app,
Yeah, yeah.
even without having any knowledge of code.
Hmm.
It's so simple and easy. I was like, wow, this is the next big thing to happen. And then, this platform is not as evolved as it is now. Today, you can do a lot of things, and I'm sure it's still evolving. I trust
Yeah,
Microsoft. They're
yeah,
always there, because of the feedback again, and they try to implement our feedback, and it's actually cool. So, Power Agent, Power Virtual Agent, Power BI, Power Automate. Wow, what a great combo! Love the combination. I must say.
exactly, exactly, exactly. Just to add a little to the story you shared. So, my friend, my colleague, my business partner, who is also the echo organizer for the user groups we run here, Frank. And so, we used to build bots, using the bot framework, the hardware, and all that. And then when we started looking at the Power Virtual Agent, one of our leads on Power Virtual Agent, Nanaya, when he did that, we're like, wait, I mean, this is just kind of like technically rubbished everything, we've used to build with a board framework. Like, we spent countless hours building this in board framework, and with PVA, it's just it's just straightforward, and you have a bot running. It's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. Awesome, awesome.
Uh,
So,
you, you, I, I also 2 years ago, 2017, yeah, I did a training on bot creation on the IBM Bluemix platform.
mhm, mhm.
Man, it wasn't easy. I must say. So since then, I actually there are some
Yeah,
platforms that you can also use for bot creation too,
yeah,
and which I did extensively. I remember I tried to create a bot that you know, because in Nigeria, when you listen speaking admission to university,
Yeah.
you have to look for your subject combination.
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
try to create a board.
Yeah.
When you supply your course, it tells you the subject combination that you're supposed to do rather than
Yeah.
going to a large textbook.
That's a
So
smart
I
one.
think
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense, but yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, so viewers, we've cleared the part where we get to know about our guest. I mean, that is out of the way. So, Ibrahim, right now I'm going to hand over to you to show us what you have for us. And let me remind viewers that if you have any questions for Ibrahim, you can send them to me at my Twitter handle at Sadrany Sadrany, and I'll surely ask him if there are things that I need to clarify as well. If I can answer them, I'll just answer them straightforward. If it's directly, for Ibrahim, I'll tell him, and then you're going to get his answer. So Ibrahim, the floor is all yours. Take it away.
Okay, so like we said earlier, I'm just gonna show. So let me share my screen. I'm done when I share my screen. Okay, so basically we're just gonna look at the Power Virtual Agent, um, Microsoft bot platform for creating chatbots. So I'm trying to. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
All right, awesome. Okay. Okay. Okay, so a little bit about myself. Like I said earlier, you can follow me on Twitter, and this is my LinkedIn URL. Then I work with Tavia Technologies, where I'm a senior SharePoint admin there. I have certified quite a lot of certifications in Microsoft products. Then IT certified. So that's a little bit about me. So today we're just going to look at what bots are, the platform for creating bots, and with special attention to our Power Virtual Agent. We're going to look at some keywords around TVA, and we're going to have one or two labs, at least for us to have to be hands-on. So what are bots? They actually been, of course, everybody knows, for those of us that are not quite familiar with what bots are. So they are like a little application or a service that you can interact with just like human. So you can actually supply text, you can actually supply voice to your boss, and you get a feedback. So you actually ask, most times you can use it to give. So you can use it to send you can use it to interact with a particular organization based on what has been configured. So bots have actually been around, and there are quite a lot of them that we're familiar with, the likes of Siri, the likes of the Android bot. I've forgotten the name now. I'm trying to remember. So here in Nigeria, we have a quite number of them. Like some banks also use their bots to power their services, like transactions. You can actually use it to transfer. You can use it to check their account balance. I love them. We also have some that you can actually use it to navigate your way. In Nigeria, yeah, quite a lot of them. So bots they've been around, and they have their different channels that you can actually use to interact with them. So, for instance, in Slack, um, on Skype, on Twitter, you can actually create bots that you can interact with as though you are interacting with humans. So what bots actually do are just to minimize time in terms of, and also try to ensure that you are not just human and not fully into a conversation, but of course it tries to reduce human interaction. So it doesn't totally replace somebody, it doesn't totally replace the people, but what it does is to just enhance what people have been doing so that the engagement is little. So some of the things that you can actually do with bots here, according to Drip that was done by a survey that was done by Drip, you can see some of the things that you can actually use your bot to do. So for instance, I actually use it to answer a question. For instance, I can say, please, where is your store located? So for such information, rather than going to a website, I can go to your bot and ask such information, which is quite straightforward. So for the business and for the customer, it saves a lot of time. So these are some of the things that you can actually achieve with your bot. And so why do we have to create a chatbot? So these are some of the reasons why we need to create a chatbot. It saves customer support and improves productivity. So in terms of user experience also, when you are chatting about, there's this joy you get because of the kind of response you get from your bot. So, okay, for instance, you say, hello bot, hello, I need to know where your store is located. The response could be like, okay, thank you, I'll be glad to answer. The way it interacts with you as though you are speaking with humans, makes you delighted. So what bots also do is that the reason why they also have to create a bot is that the response is so fast. The response is fast compared to human. So for human, it depends on the intelligence of the person or how smart the person is. But for bots, it's based on your configuration. It's based on the rules that you define. So it's actually fast. And again, the beauty of it is that you can have several instances of the bot and you can interact with it at the same time. And it doesn't impact the responsiveness of the bot, unlike humans. And they are easily scalable. So you can easily train your bot over time. You get me? You can easily scale your bot over time. For instance, maybe you just feel, okay, there's something I'm missing in this my bot. You can easily add it to it just to, for able to be able to give response to users going forward. And again, so the bots work for you 24/7. There's no downtime unless your backend system goes down. But your bot is always there for you 24/7. So where can we create chatbots? There are different avenues for creating chatbots. So like I said earlier, when chatbots first came, there were complications creating it because you needed to have .NET skills and some other special skills, complicated skills to be able to create chatbots. But with the advent of some nice platforms like the Power Virtual Agents, like so many of them, which I wouldn't want. So like Chatwell, I used Chatwell in the past. So Chatwell is also robust and it makes a lot of sense for you to create your chatbot. So these days, you do not need any special knowledge to create a chatbot. What you just need is your willingness to want to create it. You do not need any special skill. So for businesses, you don't need, like I said, just need zero coding skills. So Power Virtual Agents. Having talked about bots, we now need to talk about platforms where you can create a bot. And so according to Satya Nadella, that's the CEO of Microsoft, he said, we want every company out there to be a tech company in its own right. So that was at the last Ignite 2019. And where Microsoft is going is that even if you do not have the coding skills, like, okay, so take for instance, I do code, but not to that extent, because I just for one reason or the other, I just don't, the pattern to just go deep into coding is just not there. But of course, I write some level of JavaScript and REST API. But I prefer to, this no code thing, like InfoPath, I could just run out my form, my workflow within 2 hours and so on. So such is the case for Power Apps. Such is the case for Power Virtual Agents. So imagine you just creating an agent within 30 minutes, and you're done. You have published it to the appropriate channels that you need, So that's the power of this Microsoft Power Virtual Agent. So some of the advantages include the ease of use. You can engage your customers on many channels. I mean, when I say many channels, you have like Teams. So Teams, Teams, the Microsoft Teams is like a desktop app for everyone, especially for organizations, enterprise organizations. Because I know that, of course, we're using Skype for business in the past, but now virtually everyone has migrated to the Microsoft Teams. So it just makes a lot of sense for you to create your bot and integrate it into your team for easy access, because you find out that most of your customers, that is where they are. There are other channels like Slack, like Telegram, like websites where you can actually react with your interact with your bots. So bots are actually very easy to build, except that you want to go to you want to do some level of complex bots. That's when you now think of you know interacting with LUIS, which is language understanding. Is actually on the Microsoft. And you can also look at the bot framework. So you don't need any code. You don't need any coding knowledge, and even AI expertise. Then one of the beauty of it is that you can integrate seamlessly with the Power Platform, especially the Power Automate platform. And we all know the Power Automate platform. Man, it's huge. You have several connectors that you can actually use to achieve whatever thing you want to achieve in Power Virtual Agent. So this is a typical UI of what the Power Virtual Agent is. It has different keywords that we need to also just quickly look into. So, for instance, we have topics. So, what topics are just like the topics define how a bot converts or plays out. So, when you're creating your bot, it is necessary that you create a topic. It is a topic that defines what your bot does. Of course, during our little lab, we'll look at some of those things and how you create a topic and entities and the like. So by default, when you create your bot,
So Ibrahim, sorry to cut you on that. So there's a question that came in just as you were talking about topics, and the question is that can my bot have multiple topics, or is supposed to be a bot to each topic, or one bot one topic? How is it like? If you can just elaborate a little on
okay,
that.
okay, your bot can actually have multiple topics. The bot can actually have multiple topics. So you create your topics based on requirements. So for instance, I need a topic. I need a topic that talks about the location of my office.
Okay.
I can create a topic for that. I need a topic that talks about what my organization does. I create a topic for that. So you need to. So one thing again about topics is that you need to make it as simple as possible. So you need to make it as simple as possible. So again, is that when you create your bot, there are out of the box topics that comes with your bot creation. So you can actually modify those ones and modify them to suit what you want. So you can create your topic from scratch. You can also get suggestions from an existing website. So that's about topics. You get to see how it works. We also have entities. Entities are like, how do I put them? Do we say that they are like nouns or adjectives, so to speak? So what they do is they try to, you can identify them within a conversation. For instance, the phone number. So when a user supplies the phone number, you're able to extract the phone number. If it's the name, you're able to extract the name. So just like the topics, they are also predefined. They are also predefined entities that comes with your bot at the point of creation. So we also have the authoring canvas. So the authoring canvas, we're used to Canvas. So for those of us who are creating Power Apps, so you actually create your app on the canvas. So is the case for Power Virtual Agent. Once you define your topic, once you create your topic, you need to go to the authoring canvas to create the flow of how you want the conversation to go. So we're going to see how the authoring canvas also looks like. So just quickly, we're just going to look at how to create a simple company FAQ bot. Let me see my.
Awesome. So, guys, whilst Ibrahim is setting up for the Q&A, I just want to add a little on the entities that he was talking about. So, if you've done something with conversational AI or bots before, anytime you're interacting with bots or digital assistant, you use something we call utterances. Now, utterances is synonymous to, let's say, language, like speaking English or speaking French. And every language has got their own, syntax, let's say grammatic compositions and all that. So utterances are the ones that define how you communicate with bots or conversational AI. So within an utterance, there will be an intent, and within intent, you have entity. So an intent will be what to tell the bot using language understanding to determine what you want to do. Maybe I want to book a flight. That's an intent. And maybe you supply things like the date and then the airport you want to travel from and the time you want to travel. Those add up to be like entities that can be extracted using the language, natural language processing and understanding. So yeah, Ibrahim, back to you.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Thanks for that. Okay, so I don't know, can you see my screen now?
Yes, so
Are
we
you
can
still seeing my
see.
slides?
Yes, so we can see your lab one slide. I don't know if.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Let
so
me.
you probably have to move your screen.
Okay, okay. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen now.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so to create, this is to create. Okay, let me just try. There's a shortcut to get into this environment, which is aka.ms slash try PVA.
So yeah, try PVA. So aka.ms try PVA. Let me actually put that in the stream.
So it takes you to the Power Vector Agent portal, and I'm gonna click to sign in. Okay, so for me to create the new bot, this is the environment. So we're seeing if I need to create a new bot, I just come to my top right where I see the bot panel. Then I'll click on this, then I click on the new bot. So again, is that when you're creating your bot, you need to have, because for a bot, the content is the king. Content is king. You need to know the essence of the bot you are creating and the content that you want to feed your bot. So it's necessary that before you start creating your bot, just try and pull down something. Okay, for instance, we're creating the company FAQ. What are the things that we need? What are the things that are contained in the company FAQ? So we're looking at where are we located, what are the services that we offer, and something like that. So if I need to contact somebody, who do I contact in organization? Some of those things they should have been predefined. So by the time you are creating your bot, you are just having a smooth ride, an easy ride. It makes it easy for you. So while we're waiting for our environment to load,
Yeah, so whilst you're waiting for the environment to load, um, tell can you give us some of, let's say, some of the use cases, but you mentioned Q&A, which is what we're going to do in the demo right now. But let's say for the average person out there who we are trying to do preach the no code strategy to, top of my head, I'm thinking you're a small startup, you're just starting a business, and people are trying to reach you to get the products you have, or people are trying to find out how much something costs. If this could be a good use case where you can create a bot to respond to the frequently asked questions, like questions that you've answered over and over and over again. And I think Don actually also made mention of using the Power Virtual Automate to do something like that, since she mentors people and there are questions she's answered over and over and over again, and it wouldn't make sense to keep answering them, but you could use a bot to answer those questions and probably escalate to a human when you face something else that is not
Yeah,
a frequently asked question. Does that qualify for something to be a use case of bots or Power Virtual Agents?
yeah, it actually has a lot of use cases. Yeah, so for some business, because for instance, like a restaurant, you can actually use it to look at the menu of a restaurant and actually place the order. You
Yeah.
want to know what do they have, what do you have, and you want to know the order. So the bot wants to know your location so that it determines the distance, and maybe they say that the restaurant will charge them the like. So that's the use case. Like I said, for some organizations like banks, so they can also use it to do some form of transactions. Okay, I want to
Mm,
check my account balance. Yeah,
yeah.
it's actually possible. Check my account balance. I want to transfer. I want to, like I said in Nigeria, yeah, I know the bank who a bank that has the boss that does all of those things. So it depends. The use case is actually more.
Mm,
It's actually more.
awesome.
So okay, so for this, let's just give it a company FAQ. We're going to use a fictitious company. Let's just say ABC FAQ box. So for this, you want to check the environment that you want to use.
Yeah.
You can actually create different environments. You can create a trial environment. You can create a production environment. So for my own purpose, for this purpose, I'm using my development environment. So
Yeah.
our boss is creating. So what he's creating is actually trying to get, all those pre-built topics and entities and the like,
Mm,
which it
mm.
will.
And
Okay.
talk about
So our boss is
environment.
creating.
Ibrahim, talk about environment. Just a quick recap. So those of you who don't know what the environment is, go watch last week's episode. Foyi made mention of the environment and gave us some best practices on setting up environments for developing anything primarily in the Power Platform. So go check out last week's episode. All right.
Okay, awesome. So you can see here our ABGFT board. You can see on the right hand side of the screen, on the left hand side, sorry, we have our topics. So like I said, these topics are some predefined topics that out of the box created at the point of creating your board. So for instance, let's look at one of these topics, a simple topic. Let's look at the way it works. So what this topic does is it shows you how you can create a simple topic with one conditional branch. So another thing is you can also create branches within your board. So just like if else statement in our normal programming. So if a condition is true, it goes there, else it goes to other one. So you can actually create that here. So for instance, this is a topic and these are the trigger phrase. So the trigger phrase are they are like the words or the words that you throw to your bot and it looks at those uh, those words and based upon that it triggers the right topic. So you can actually create your own topic, but these ones are actually there to guide you in case you are creating yours. So this is an example. Let's look at the flow of the simple topic. So when you need to look at the flow, you have to go through the authoring canvas. It shows you how this simple topic works. So you can actually modify. You can modify. I think it's taking time. Let's go back. Let's click on this again and see. Let's go to authoring canvas. taking time to load.
Yeah, so whilst we're waiting for that to load, it's important for you to guys to know that you don't necessarily have to provide all the trigger phrases. You can provide just a few of it or a list of it, and then the AI that is built into the Power Virtual Agent will be able to deduce that and figure out, some of the phrases. That is what the natural language processing does, and also the AI component of the Power Virtual Agent. Yeah, back to you, Ibrahim.
Yeah. One thing I also observe is that so even if your user throw something related to your topic, so what it does is it asks a question. Are you talking about this? Then it provides you with a yes or no.
Yeah.
So you can actually now click on yes or no too. So it's very, very intuitive. It's very, very intelligent to tell you to assist you with whatever you want to do. So this is the topic, and you can see the trigger phrases. So for instance, what this does is you want to inquire about the time a store closes or opens. So these are your trigger phrases. Then this is the message. This is the message that the boss throws to you. This is another message, and it ends here. So like I said earlier, your topic most times are usually simple.
Yeah.
You need to make it simple and as short as possible. So it depends on what you're trying to achieve again. So this is an example. So for ours, what we want to do, okay, let's just create our own topic and see. Let's create our own topic. We click on this, then we say company services. So we're saying company services. This defines this defines services. So what are the trigger phrases? You can say, what does your organization offer? Yeah. You can say, what services do you render? So you can have them as much as you want. So another beauty of it is that over time you can increase these phrases. So you can increase these phrases to capture what you feel, it also be of help to the user. So we're just going to stop at these two, and we go to the authoring canvas to create the flow. Okay. So we're going to have put a message here. I can actually delete this message. It's not casting stone. I can delete this message and have another dialogue here or another note.
Okay.
Another note. So here I would say, okay. I can say, okay. So below, okay. Let me just delete this and use, okay, so these are the types of notes you can actually create. You can ask a question, you can call an action, you can show a message, and go to another topic. So these are some of the things that you can do. So, okay, let me use the message. I can say, okay, this is below some of the things. I say internet service, internet service, internet deployment, and let's say business.
Yeah, let's say business applications. Yeah. Yeah, application. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
So it can be as simple as this. Yes. So it can be as simple as this. You can also go ahead to say, okay, what else do you think that So you just have to be creative about
Creative,
it. You can
yeah.
also say what just have to be creative about it. What
So,
else?
so Ibrahim, let me use this opportunity to just say something. We've been saying that, Power Automate or the Power Platform is for everyone with less code. Now, you realize that what Ibrahim is doing, he's going through a series of steps or what we call flow chart. Now, you might not necessarily be a tech savvy person. You can actually be a dialogue creator. So you can actually, play with Power Virtual Agent and be someone who helps create dialogues, for companies or for developers or non-developers like Ibrahim and myself and other people. So there are a lot of opportunities for you as a non-developer to jump onto the Power Platform and do crazy stuff. So you could be responsible for writing this script that someone just picks and implements in Power Virtual Agent. Back to you, Ibrahim.
Okay, awesome. So let's just test this. Let's just test this because the first time I will save this and we'll test our bot.
Sure.
So one of the beauty of this again is that you don't need to go anywhere to test your bot. I'm going to test it within this same environment. So that's one of the beauty of this again, and which is right here. Okay, so our dialogue is saved successfully. I don't know why. I think something is wrong on the web.
Well, we'll just refresh. I mean,
something is wrong.
we are hitting it with
Yeah.
streaming and all that. So, yeah, usually it's just a matter of probably resetting or refreshing, and everything, comes back to normal.
Yeah, let me just go home. So that. Sorry, so then let me just plug this.
So whilst we wait for Ibrahim to come back and get on this, I would like to suggest
Sorry
to
for
you
that.
guys. That's okay, Ibrahim. I was just trying to suggest to them that don't forget the URL aka.ms/trypva, which is very very useful and helpful. You can use that. There's also the Microsoft Learn portal where you can actually have a learning path in creating Power Platform services from Power BI, Power Apps, and Power Automate. Back to you, Ibrahim.
Okay, I think maybe just let me just I'll have to just refresh the environment for us to see.
So someone is
So
asking
what I will
Ibrahim.
do because of
Someone is asking that isn't the Power Virtual Automate isn't it the same as a Q&A maker?
so I didn't get that.
So someone is
You
asking,
want the Q and A?
yeah, the Q&A maker isn't Power Virtual Automate almost similar to the Q&A maker?
Well, is Q and A make another platform?
Okay.
Is it another platform?
Yes, so then I guess I'll take that. So yes, William. So the Q&A maker is almost like the Power Virtual Automate. However, the Q&A maker is a standalone service that you can use to create, FAQs or what we call is a knowledge base. You can use Q&A maker to create a knowledge base that you can actually connect to your bot. And if you've used it before, it helps you to create a question and answer or knowledge base powered by some AI that you can connect to a bot using the bot framework that you can host in Slack and any of this channel. What Power Virtual Automate is a complete product on its own that can actually also integrate Q&A Maker. If you already have the Q&A Maker, knowledge base created, you can connect to that in PVA and that also works. But PVA is a complete standalone framework for creating bots. It's like a 360 of creating bots. So I hope that answers your questions, William. Back to you, Ibrahim.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so I think our boss is back. Just okay. Let's just say I can say I think I to my boss. So ordinarily, okay, so they are predefined greetings. So
Yeah.
part of the topic that we built is this. So ordinarily, we are supposed to modify this to suit our own requirements for our boss. But okay, so what we just want to check is they said what we just did, what service you render.
So just to satisfy the curiosity of our viewers, can you ask the same question again and probably just say what services? Don't continue again. Just type what services.
So let me I'll just do, okay,
Exactly,
the
your
services.
services. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I said. So okay, I think something is wrong with it. I'm gonna ask once again.
Yes, let's try your services. Let's
Okay,
try
so it's not able to
let's
get
try
the
what services. Okay. So,
no, I feel because I'm not even able to open the top.
oh, okay.
I'm not too sure if it's connected.
But there is an out of the box feature which we just saw, which I would want to also, throw a bit of light on. Now we realized that after two attempts or three attempts to do something it didn't figure out, we didn't have to handle wait for me to connect you to a link, like a person. We didn't have to explicitly define that. So out of the box this feature is available for us to use. In traditional bot development you needed to handle all these things yourself. So here it will just be a matter of providing a
So,
URL, a link or something that a bot can redirect you to or give you access to a real human for conversations.
yeah, thanks, Samuel. Okay, so let's try again and see what we see. Or we can start over. You can actually do a start over for you
Mm-hmm.
to start the bot again. Okay, so let's see what we see. Okay, so we need to. I feel something is wrong. I'm not too sure.
How
I'm not
about
too
how
sure.
about we just
Let's.
add it? How about we just add another, trigger phrase? Because I feel that the trigger phrases are not enough. I mean, just two. We need to give it just a few so that it's able to, decipher. I remember the days of
Okay.
creating digital assistant for most of the common platforms. There was actually a script which you could provide different parts of the utterance or the trigger, and it would generate about a million potential questions for you. That
So
you could just
yeah,
copy and
so
paste that in there.
I remember doing that on the IGN platform too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just look at our dialogue again and let's see how it looks like.
Yeah.
Um, I feel something is it could be okay. Maybe it's the it. It's not actually looking at
Hey, this is the rich content you don't get on any other show. We're doing this live, so you don't feel like we've gone to create something and it's already beautified and we're showing you. No, this goes to tell you that look, this is how it works in the real world. Sometimes you get some of these hitches, but we work through it, you figure it out, you pick it up. So this is raw content. You won't get this anywhere. Hey,
I tell
Micus
you there
Pocus. Yep.
was I tell you there was an issue. There was something about it yesterday till for over 24 hours before I could get it. So some of these things happen. Some of these things happen. So you just have
Oh
to
yeah. Yeah.
has to be done with them.
Yeah, and the
Let's
thing is,
wait and
and
see.
Ibrahim, and the thing is that what we want our viewers to know is that some of these things are very necessary because if Ibrahim tries the same thing and is having problems, I try the same thing, you also
Maybe
go and try the same thing. It gives us the chance to go back and give feedback to the Power Virtual Automate team that look, it looks as if you need to tweak the AI
yeah,
behind the topics a bit more. So because if we don't do this, the product cannot be grown, it cannot be developed. So these are some of the things you need to do. Try it, get these problems, report it, feedback, and then they, day in day out, they build a platform to make it, a lot better and interesting. So I mean,
there's,
nothing to worry about.
there's, there's actually a channel for that because I've been seeing people, of course, like some of these the bot icons, you can't change it, and people have actually complained. So
Yeah,
I'm sure they're working on that.
yeah.
You can actually do some of these things. Let's try again and see. Let's try again and see the experience. Okay, so let's issue what services.
Awesome.
Okay, it worked. It worked. So I would want us to tweak it again and see. Okay. Mm, let's see your organization.
Drum roll. Okay, it's processing. Oh yeah, so
So,
yeah, the
yeah,
the feature you're talking about.
yeah. So it actually needs to talking about. So you now click the yes, then it gives you what you want.
Yep. There we go.
Okay, cool. So this is a topic. Okay, you can create another topic that addresses another user request.
Yeah.
So like your office location,
Mm-hmm.
like who do I talk to if I need to speak to someone in your organization? We can actually create topics for that.
Yeah.
But because of time, we're pressed for time, we still need to do another lap. I think we just move on from here.
Sure. I think we should do that too. I mean, this gives us
Okay,
an
so
overview of how to
sharing
to
my
create it.
yes. Okay, so I would switch my I'll switch to my slide. You can see my slide, right?
Yep, we can see the slide now.
Okay, so one of the things of the Power BI agent integration with Power Automate. So the Power Automate is naturally at the center of everything around TVA. So for the thing we did earlier, how do I put it? So
Oops, it looks like we lost Ibrahim there. Let's see. Let me try to get Ibrahim back online. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry about that. Okay, so it looks like he's back. Network issues. Yep. Ibrahim, if you can turn on your camera, we lost you there for a
okay,
bit. Awesome. Yep. Back to you.
okay, so Power Automate. So let me just say, for those who are not familiar with Power Automate, it's actually a platform where you can automate processes, you can create recurrent, you can create recurrent tasks, you can, you can, you can interact with third-party systems. In fact, it has different connectors, whether the systems, both Microsoft and all third-party systems. So the possibilities are much with Power Automate. So the integration with Power Virtual Agent, I tell you, is actually huge. And we're going to look at one simple thing that I just did with it. So when you're integrating with Power Automate, it takes in variables and it also supplies the output. So of course, we know what variables are. They're just like a temporary order for holding values. So within your nodes, you can make use of the variables. So like I said earlier, when you're integrating with your automate, there's a flow trigger, which is an HTTP request, and the response is an HTTP response. So it allows just three types of input: number, string, and boolean. So when you create your first template, your Power Virtual Agent flow template, this is what you see. So it creates this template for you by default. So what you do is now to tweak it to add other connectors to it to be able to achieve whatever you want to do. So let's quickly look at this. Let's quickly look at what I want to show here. So what I want to do is I would create a SharePoint list. So what the SharePoint list is, I just want to, I'm a part of the company. I have leave days that I'm entitled to in the year. So I'm gonna have columns where I need to look up and get my leave days. Okay. So I'll create a new bot. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to create a new bot for this purpose. So I'll call my bot. I'll call it leave. So call it the leave management bot. I will take what I want to do with this bot is I have a repository of all staff within an organization and their number of leave days that they're entitled to.
Okay.
This is we're creating our bot. So while this is creating, I would go ahead to create the SharePoint list. I'm going to use the SharePoint. You can actually use Excel. You can use SQL data source. You can use common data source. But for this purpose, I'm going to use the SharePoint list to create that. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah. I can see it.
I want to be sure. Are you seeing the SharePoint list?
No,
The SharePoint environment?
we are not able to see the SharePoint view, but we can see the browser with the Power Virtual Agent being created. So maybe I think you have to probably toggle
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. Now we're seeing a browser for the SharePoint. Yep.
Okay. So I'll create a list. So for those who are not familiar with SharePoint, SharePoint is actually an environment for creating intranet, document management, and the like. So we're going to create a list. A list is just like a table that you create in Excel. So I'm going to create a list. So the list will be called staff leave. So while I'm trying to create that, I'll also let me switch back to my bot. Okay, still creating. I'll go back to this. Okay, so I'll call it leave. Okay, so I'm just going to use this for this purpose, then I'll create it. Wow, okay, so I have my SharePoint list. Then I'll add columns to it. I'll add the column for the staff. So I'll call the person staff. I'll save this. I'll create another column. I'll call it leave days entitled. Did you get the logic? So
Yep.
this column is actually what the number of days the staff is entitled to. Okay, so I'm going to populate this list. There's a title column that comes with my SharePoint list by default. I'm actually supposed to pick it option and to remove it from this view, but because of time, I'm just going to enter numbers here. So I'm just going to put numbers here because it's a composite field. So here I'll put myself. Okay, I'll put myself. Then I'll put say 30 days. I'll put someone else. Say 20. So you can see I made this column a person column.
Mm-hmm.
So here I'm going to put.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, okay, so that will be clear when we are seeing the result. Okay, so I've done this. I'll save this. So our list is done. I'll go back to the app. I'll create a topic.
So Ibrahim, can you bring
Leave.
the Power PVA in view? It looks like you moved to. We're still on the SharePoint screen. Yeah, there
I'm
we
back
go.
to the box.
Yeah, we see it now.
So I'll create lead inquiry. Let's put it that way, right?
Yep.
This is allow us inquire and okay, so what the trigger phrase is, how do we can say how many leave days do I have
Yep.
my number
Oh, my leave days.
my okay, so let's just stop here. We can
Yep.
also maybe so from here, having done this, I'm gonna save the topic and go to authoring canvas. So we can take note of the first. We created the topic, we created the triggers, then now we are going to our authoring canvas. So there's a step that will skip. So it's not skipped though, but you can actually authenticate users within your bot.
Yeah.
You can authenticate within your enterprise, within your bot. But I'm going to skip the authentication. So rather, I'll query my list with the person's email address as
Okay.
supplied by the person.
Okay. I mean, so that's just for the users to know that you can do authentication. So you come in and kind of like a state or session management where the bot actually knows who is interacting with it. You know, this was a hard thing we used to do in bot framework, but I mean, with all this Power Platform connected, especially in the enterprise, this can be done easily.
Yeah, so by the time you authenticate, you're able to get the person's details, email, and the
Yeah.
like. So I'll be sure I can assist you. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question to get the person's email address.
Mhm.
So, so like we said, for entities, so the
Yeah.
person's email address is an entity. So we're
Yeah.
going to use select the email entity here. So we're selecting the email entity here. Then it creates a variable by default, which I will
Yeah.
name CVA, that's power for email.
Okay.
So what this email will do is to serve as the input to our Power Automate. At this point, I'm telling the person, so I could say, okay, thank you. Hold on while I get. So I'm gonna come here, then I would call an action. So this is where we interact with it. I'll call an action. So it's trying to load. It's trying to load. So here, that here, I'll click on create a flow.
Okay.
So there were configurations that we're supposed to do for authentication because we didn't do all of those ones. This authentication is grayed out.
Yeah.
So, but for this purpose, we're creating the flow here. So once the moment you click on that flow, it takes you to the flow, the Power Automate environment.
Yeah.
Now note that the environment that I'm using for creating this bot is my development environment. So that's the same environment it takes me to my Power Automate.
Mm.
That's the same environment in my Power Automate. So it generates this by default. It generates this by default. So what we're doing, this is the JSON. So
Yeah.
for someone who is also JSON, this will be nice stuff for you. But you don't also need that extensive knowledge to be able to use
Yeah.
it. It's quite straightforward. Generate a sample JSON by clicking this place, which is this. So what I want to do is I want to get staff email address, so which is Brian. This is just like a template,
Templates. Yeah.
Brian, yeah, for my JSON. I'm gonna click done. So notice that the moment I did that, it changed the body of this JSON.
Yeah.
So the property we're looking at is now address.
String.
So we're
Yeah.
feeding the staff email address from our bot. We're feeding it into this HTTP request. So I haven't done that. I don't need this initialize this number. I'm going to delete it. So I'm going to initialize a variable. That variable is the number of days that we're expecting.
Mm.
So it will record these days entitled. So I'm going to make it an empty string. I'll make this an empty string. So between here, I'll put my interaction with SharePoint. So I'm going to query my SharePoint. So I'll do a get item. I'm going to do a get item to SharePoint. Let's see.
I think it was a get
Let me
right
just
up
click my
there.
SharePoint.
Yeah.
Okay, get
Yeah.
items. Yeah. So there are actually two. There's get items and there's get items. So the get item actually returns an ID. So the ID doesn't really give me. So, but this get items get all the items that matches that on that query.
Mm-hmm.
So here I'm going to state my URL, my SharePoint URL, where my list is residing. That's what I'm going to put here. So it's the URL where my list is residing that I'll put here. So we need to take note of that. And having done that, I'll select the drop down. Let me confirm. I need to confirm. Okay, staff leave details. So staff leave details, which is this. So I'm going to click on the advanced options. I need to filter my SharePoint based on the email address. So how do I do that? Note that I have a column here. So there's a column here, the path column, which
Yeah.
has everybody's person. You know, it's an object.
Yeah.
So that that column is an object. You can get the person's name, the email address, and the like within that. So I'm going to make use of the email of this path object. Okay, so I'll say staff slash email
Mm.
equal to staff email
Staff email
address. And I'm
address.
gonna
Yeah.
close it. So because the staff is an object, I
Mm.
need to get the email part of it.
Yeah.
So I'll now say equal to this. Then I'll do a count. I just need one. So
Yeah.
I'll put a
Mm-hmm.
total count of one. I can collapse this. So having done this, I can run a loop. I can run a loop through the items that are collected.
Mm.
So the assumption is that when you run this get items is actually getting more than one. That's the
Mm.
assumption. It's like running a for. So even if it's one, even if the outcome is one, you still have to. So there's an apply to each connect or action rather control here. So this control takes the output of the get item as an input, which is this. So this is like a list. That's
Mm.
why it says a list of items. So I'm gonna add another action. So what this action does is to get is now to assign our variable or to assign that entitled the number of days to our variable.
Yeah.
So which is I'm gonna variable. It's trying to load. So what I want to do now is to set the variable. Okay, so I'm gonna select set variable. So here we have the variable we created earlier, which is
Leave.
this days
Yep.
entitled to. So I'll scroll down here and I'll look for this days
Leave days. Yep.
entitled to. That's all. Then I have to give the response back to my agent. So
Yeah.
I'll generate that from my sample again, which is do this is entitled. I can say this is just the sample.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna replace what we have in the body here too. Then I'll replace this. That's so I think we're good. So we're good. So one thing I observed is that this name here, the Power Vector Agent Flow template, is not really suitable, right?
Yep.
So we're supposed to change this name. But I observed that when I changed it, there was something I led to. I wasn't able to make use of the flow in the
Yeah.
right place. So when we get there, so I'm not gonna change it at this point. I'll just save it. So because for us to be able to use this flow, we have to convert it to a solution
Yeah.
before we can access this flow within our PVA. So we have to convert this to a solution. And then how do we do that? That's straightforward. I'll come to my solutions here.
Save it. Yeah. This
I'll
always
come
gets me.
so I'll come to solutions here. I'll come to solutions here. Okay, it's trying to load. Okay, so yes. So I'm going to create a new solution. So I'll say, let me just say my leave this flow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just say my leave this flow. I'm going to say publisher version 1.0 and page on. I'll create this. Okay, so having created this, I need to be able to add my flow itself to
Yeah.
this solution. So I'm going to click on
Add
existing.
existing.
So what
Yeah.
am I adding? So I'm going to go to okay, so this is where I'm coming from. I think that I already made the mistake already. So this is what I'm saying. Ordinarily, I should see that flow under
Yep.
this
Yep.
outside solution,
Yep.
but it's not showing. So I feel that at the point where I click on create a flow from TVA,
Mm-hmm.
I need to save it
Save it
and
before.
add
Yeah.
it to this solution.
Yeah.
And now modify it as I so wish. So I think that's correct. So because ordinarily it's supposed to show here and it's not showing. So this is why I battled. I told you that I battled this for like 24 hours
Yeah.
before I put
Yeah. Uh,
that. Okay,
I see you have
now to
one
refresh.
there. Would that suffice for this session from the solution?
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
let's
it
try
would
this.
just be a matter of us tweaking a few things and making that work.
Okay, so let's see. Let's go back to the box and call an action. Okay, so I've actually added the action here, the power of init. So it's taken as input the start email supply and it's giving us the lead date entitled here.
Yeah.
So finally, I can say to a message, your, okay, let's say you have, okay, so I can have my variable here.
Yep.
This is entitled, you have this is the, okay, that's all.
Let's put it to the test.
We can now see, you said?
I'm saying let's put it to the test.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so this is state. We can check this. Okay, so hello. My leave day. Okay, so my
Awesome.
email address. So, yeah,
Awesome. Boom. Yeah, we have a
so I
few.
can confirm, I can actually supply another person's email address. So
Yeah.
let's try that. Let's supply another person's email address so that we'll be sure that
It's not hard coded.
yeah. Wow. So this is showing 20. this is so you can see so the possibility. So we can see how the integration of TVA with the Power Automate. So, like I said, we can make this seamless by
Yeah.
configuring the authenticate. We can authenticate the user. So when you authenticate, you can get the email by default without having to ask the user to input the email address. Also, the possibility of also applying for your leave via this bot
Yeah.
is also there. So if you just do it, to ask for the start date, the end date, and the purpose. So once you just do that, you go to your Power Automate and you just create a list item that automatically creates in your SharePoint list or whatever data source you want to use. So this is cool. And you can eventually add this to your Microsoft Team. Since Team is now like, what every organization uses, or use. So it makes it seamless. So let me go back to my slide. Sort of, okay.
Whilst
So
Ibrahim is about to actually give us back part of the slides again, I just want to add that it's also because someone asked the question, why did we add the flow? And you just answered it. The flow allows us to do integration with other Microsoft services and other third-party solutions. So this could be another as an example whereby the fact that you have asked for your leave days, the bot could actually anticipate that you are thinking of requesting for leave. So there could be a 10 dialogue that says, would you want to apply for some leave days, and then that starts a whole
yeah.
flow again. Yeah.
So okay. So after creating your bot, there's bound to be a channel in which your users would interact with your bot. So the several channels exist. Like I said, you have your website, you have a demo website that Microsoft has for you. You have Facebook, you have the Teams. So the whole of them are there. So what you need to do is to consider the ones that your users are more familiar with. And you can even publish to different channels. It's actually
Yeah.
possible with you can publish to different channels. So as you can see, so if you go back to our about, let's look at if you go to our about, there's a publish here. So once I just push this button, once I push this, okay. So once I push the publish button, I'm able to publish my bots to the different channels, which I'll see. So let me go back to the slide. Okay, so what I want us to do would have been to just add this bots to Microsoft Team and see how it looks like. So it's an easy way for members of the organization to interact with us, as I said. So and the thing, once you at least you need to publish once for you to be able to use your bot within your team. And again, is that you need to have the right permission to be able to publish your bot to Microsoft. So in case you do not have, you need to speak to your administrator, maybe your global administrator, or whoever is in charge of your Office 365. So this is a typical the user interface when you add the bot. And okay, so let's quickly look at how possible how you can quickly do that.
Sure.
So for you to add that, you need to go to your teams and okay, let me share my teams.
Awesome. That would be cool. I mean, let's give them the full package. That is what the series is all about.
Let me share. Okay, so you can see my teams, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so you need to add this app to be able to do the app builder.
Yeah.
So once you go to your Microsoft Teams, there's an app builder that you need to add. Let me try and get it. Let's see.
The App Studio.
The app. Okay, App Studio, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So you need to add your App Studio. You need to add it. Once you add it, then you open it. Okay, so having done this, you go to your manifest editor.
Yep.
Then you create a new app. Okay, you create a new app. You give it a name. Let's say leave management bot. So the short name and the long name have to differ. They have to be
Yeah.
different.
Mm.
So if you repeat the same name here, it will complain to you. So by the time you're saving it, it will complain. So you can say,
How about we call it the leave bot, and then we use the leave management bot for the long name?
so we can call this the leave bot.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. So this one you can generate this one on the fly. You can generate this. Then the package name you can call it. Let's say com dot okay, com dot Microsoft. Just doesn't matter. Just to give it a unique name. But in mm, let's say leave this box. We just call it this. Then we can make the version 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
So we can the developer info, let's say Ibrahim, on the website. I mean, if you I'm gonna call this.
You can probably just use the company website or something. Yeah, or just Microsoft.com, something like that. Anything works. I mean, but ideally, guys, production environment, you need to provide, you know, correct information, because that's another way where because you can actually list this bot or application on the app source or the marketplace later on. So it will be good for you to provide all this information so that people can contact you on it. Yeah.
Okay, so for privacy statement,
Yeah,
so
let's just copy
for
and paste the
privacy
same thing there.
statement, we're just gonna put privacy.
Yeah.
Okay, privacy. We're gonna put terms of use.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I haven't seen this part of the bot. So I'll go to the capabilities. I'll click on bot setup. So it's an existing bot.
Mm-hmm.
I need to copy these details, this app ID from my bot.
Yeah, and
So
come
let
yeah,
me
paste
switch.
them.
Let me switch to this place. And I come to. I go to the channels, which is things. So once I click add, it generates an ID. So I'm able to use this ID at in my team. So I'll copy this, then I'll go back to my studio. So I paste this, then my bot name is
It's leave management bot.
okay, lead management bot. So let me go back. What is lead? Okay, so my boss support uploading and doesn't know. My boss, so no scope. So let's just say personal. Let's be personal. See. So you can add, you can do, you can also do some paparazzi here. You can add commands and stuff. Let's see. So I scroll down. I go to domains and permissions. So domains and permissions. That's putting valid distance. Putting dot let me just get the value. Putting dot buffering.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's being added.
I'm going to go to test and distribute. So here I'm supposed to Oh, okay, see.
Yeah,
You can
description.
see
Yeah.
the warning,
Yep.
you know, repeat the same. So there is always, let me go back to see and see. So perhaps because it's saying live and bought again, that's why.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it doesn't see this as clashing again.
Okay, so let's go back to this one. This one. I think it's just a warning. It shouldn't
Yeah, yeah, we
be,
can. I think we can live with it.
it's just a warning. Okay, so I found out that at this point, I wasn't able to install. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for that. I tried to figure it out. But
Yeah.
what works is that I can download this. I can download this package. So it's downloaded already.
Yeah. And actually side load it manually.
Yes.
So my guess would be the reason why probably it's not allowing to do the installation is because of the authentication across board. And there are some checks also on the namespaces, some of the information you provide. They kind of like check it just to make sure you're not providing any bogus information. So when you publish, the application, it will be seen as a valid application. But I mean, it could be something we can look at, after the stream, and then maybe share what we come up with to the viewers as well.
Okay, so this is downloaded zip file. This is downloaded zip file. We're going to upload this back to our Teams. I'm going to share back my Teams. So while here, I'll go to apps here, then go down, upload the custom
Custom
app.
app.
So I'll go to okay, so I'm going to double click on this. Okay, something is wrong. Manifest pattern of field. It could be the message. I
Yeah.
think we should just find a way to
to clear the message. Well, let's go check manifest editor. Hopefully it didn't. Okay, yeah, so the leave bot. I mean, it was actually talking about a description. Let's take out the leave. Let's take out the leave, and let's take out the bot. Let's say vacation request. Oh, this is a vacation request. Yeah, vacation request.
okay, let's try and
Just to be sure we don't have any. No, hold on. It looks like we're skipping the actual description. Go back to the details. Let's see. So down, yeah, there's a description right there. Yes. So we left that empty.
skip this. Yeah. Okay, so we can check now. Let's do the test and distribute. Okay, fine.
Yep, we're
Okay,
good.
so it's off. I can down. So it's downloaded. I'm going to check this. So we go back to app.
Apps. Yep.
Uh,
Upload custom apps. I think it would work now. Yep. There we go.
yes. So we have this.
I hope we specify the command. Because if we didn't specify the command, we can't invoke it. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, my lead is, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the
Awesome.
yeah, works
Yep.
perfect. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's apply another user. Let's take another user. Okay, so I'm gonna yeah.
Awesome. The power is at
So
work.
that you can actually say, okay, for a user or for an invalid email or for a user that does not exist, you can say, okay, so this person does not exist, or you probably type in the wrong.
Yeah,
You can actually
email.
tweak it to be able to do a lot of those things, yeah. So
Yeah.
this is the power of PV, the PVA. So let me go back to this line. Okay, so we've seen these possibilities. That how do you not make a great box? So you have to have a purpose. You have to be sure that you have content because that's the
Yeah.
user experience.
Yeah.
A corporate channel, which is okay. This is how we use test. You have to test and retest to be sure that it works as expected. You have to be able to introduce your box to the user, which is what our box is doing. So never leave the user on shore. So you need to be able to offer the user, do you want to use the agent or do you want to, just some tips and, you can also be able to account for typos
Yeah.
if there's one. So without doubt, that businesses are leveraging chatbots now to reduce costs and, to also improve productivity. And with Power BI agents, the possibility is much. And the beauty of it again of this Power BI agents is that when Microsoft creates this product, they tend to create it in accordance with their previous product. Like if
Hmm.
you see the ribbon on this PowerPoint presentation now,
Yep.
it's the same thing on Microsoft, but it's the same thing on SharePoint. So you are used to that kind of experience.
Yeah.
So I could see that within my box, I could actually build in some text. I could do italics and I could do bullet points and all of those things. Wow, this is actually great. So I'm sure that with what they're trying to also, you know, add more features to this. So I feel that yeah, you can. I just want to encourage people to get started, start using this thing, to get your hands dirty on it, and because we still at the level is still like 100 now.
Yeah.
So time, yeah, get to. So that's it. I hope that you enjoy the session.
Yes, we did. We did. Brahim, can you turn back your camera on so we can see your face before we
Okay.
close out?
Okay.
Awesome. So, viewers, this has been a very thrilling episode. We started from the Power Virtual Agent. We created it. We connected to SharePoint. We pulled some live information there, and then we brought it back into Teams. I mean, this is just to testify to the power of the Power Virtual Agent and the Power Platform. And all the thanks goes to Ibrahim for making time for us today, spending an hour and 41 minutes on the show, showing us how to do this. And like mentioned, there are a lot of resources there on the Microsoft website, Microsoft Learn. There is aka.ms, try PVA, awesome content. Thank you so much, Ibrahim, for sharing this knowledge with
Pleasure.
us. We're hoping to connect with you
Nice.
in the future for more and more episode and more tips and tricks. We really appreciate that. But before I let you go, before I let you go, I just want our viewers watching us to know that um, there are community groups, there are Power Platform community groups in Lagos and in Abuja. Please make sure you find your local Power Platform community and join them. Where you're going to have the likes of Ibrahim, Foyi, Deji, Kazim, Sheyi, all the crazy guys in Nigeria coming to show you cool stuff on a Power Platform. Now, if you're in Ghana, well, you are in luck because this Saturday at the NIT Ring Road Center, we're launching the inaugural physical meetup for the Accra Power Platform user group. That is also going to be the first annual Microsoft Business Application Community Conference. So you're going to see all these things that Ibrahim showed. You're going to see it in person. And like myself and Ibrahim and Foy and all the other power addicts were saying, you don't need to be a hardcore developer to do anything on the Power Platform. So come join us this Saturday, join the local community. Let's have some fun. Learn how you can use this thing to actually transform and digitally transform your business and to move forward. Ibrahim, thanks so much. It's like it's almost 11 p.m. in Nigeria, and tomorrow is a Monday. We're really grateful.
That's all. I'm glad. I'm glad. Thank you. Thanks. You're doing a great job. I'm sure that with this, we continue with this momentum. Of course, we have enough
Yes,
power addicts to join us.
sure,
You know,
sure.
there is an opportunity also. It jobs and all of those things. But those who just feel, it's something you can just venture into, and within a week, you are already turning out apps
Yeah,
and and solutions.
yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and I actually
Nice
was
platform for you.
mentioning last week that for those that are serious, there's actually a learning path on Microsoft Learn that if you dedicate a couple of hours a day, to it, give yourself a few weeks or probably a month or two, you can actually certify and pass, and have this as a business. So guys, and it's a career. So guys, connect with Ibrahim, connect with
And
us. We're ready to share and help you.
it's usually, documentation is usually top notch.
Yeah,
The documentation of all of these solutions and even the community are
yeah,
always ready to help.
yeah, yeah,
Always
yeah.
ready to help.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Ibrahim. I will let you go for today, but definitely this is not the end of it. As you know, something is coming up for West Africa this spring, April, sometime in April. So you guys are going to know about it. Ghana, Nigeria, get ready for this huge event. Ibrahim, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Sierra. Thanks for having me. Yeah, bye.
Bye bye. Have a great night. Awesome, guys. So, like we mentioned, thank you very much for making time with us. It has been an awesome time with Ibrahim sharing his knowledge on Power Virtual Automate. Don't forget that this show streams every Sunday at 8 p.m. GMT. Subsequent, series coming on, we'll be talking about Power Automate, which is an area I like to play around, with. There's more coming up. So this coming week, we're going to see some power addicts from Ghana also showing you stuff. And then in the course of the show, we'll probably go back to Donet's team or people on Donet's side, to help share some insight into the Power Platform. Well, thank you very much for making a date with me today. Until we connect next Tuesday for IoT Tuesday and Friday for Functions Friday. This has been yours truly, Samuel Adranyi, on the Demystify Technology with Samuel Adranyi. So enjoy the week, learn something new, share something, build a community. Hey, let's make the world a better place. And don't forget, 2020, you need to transform your business digitally. And how best to do this? Using the Power Platform. So thank you very much and have a great evening.